Hello, everyone. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening from wherever you are. I want to take a moment and say thank you, for you could be anywhere in this world at this moment in time. However, you chose to be with me and this amazing platform in raising our kids. My name is Andrea Mason, Global Certified Motivational Speaker under the mentorship of Mr. Les Brown, and the creator and innovator of the life transformational journey called Press Play, Plan Life According to You. Today, I'd like to talk to you about the 4 areas on what it means to be a parent, what it is like raising a child and or children. You see, when we are younger, our story is told to us. At some point in our time, we must take the pen in our own hand and begin writing our story. I remember when I found out that I was going to be a first-time parent. I was excited. My husband and I had family planned, and we were excited to embrace this next chapter in life, raising our children. And I still remember the butterflies going in my body and in my mind. Am I going to be good enough? Am I going to give them a sustainable life where they can enjoy life, have fun, make memories, go on adventures, learn new lessons, and do it all with unconditional love? You know, when we are younger and we are taking care of our children for the very first time, we always have to keep in mind that we are their first role model. We are their first teacher, their first coach, and the first set of eyes that they gaze upon when they are younger. We must be mindful of our actions, the way we talk, our tonality, the verbal and nonverbal cues, as our children always have a sixth sense to pick up on how we really feel. I remember this raising our child and realizing that not only do we love them unconditionally, but we have an abundance of knowledge, lessons, stories, and memories ahead to create. As children and infants and toddlers, they explore the world. There is no filter. They are having so much fun, enjoying what they are doing, learning how their minds and bodies work, and just getting into everything. This is the time when we must be mindful and aware of our methods. We're pouring in now the foundation to our children, the morals, values, ethics, expectations, and guidance on how to help them become successful in their own lives. We are constantly expressing our emotions with our words, our gestures, our nurturance, our nature, along with our environment. This must be a time of joy, a time of protection and safety, most importantly, a time of their wellness. For the primitive years are in infantry to toddlers, where nature and nurturance comes into mind. And what we have learned to make sure that we are teaching them, however, not living our lives through them. Allow them to have fun, allow them to explore, allow them to expand their mind, to feel comfortable in their own skin on what they think, dream, explore, and create. These are the primitive years where they will remember the most, the love and nurturance that you give, the lessons that are taught, and the abundance, overflowing of unconditional love and support embraced in your arms. And the next chapter in life is the one that we all have to prepare for. And this is the chapter of the preteen and adolescent years. I still remember my mom saying, "You'll have one just like you." And boy, sorry, Mom. Sorry, Dad. I've put you up to challenges and experiences you were not prepared for. As we are working and guiding our preteens and adolescents, this is the time that they are learning how to utilize their voice. This is the time that they are now really honing into responsibility and accountability and understanding who they really are. These are the developmental years of finding out who is a good fit and who just doesn't fit in. These are the times where our children learn and question, why aren't they like me? I love individuals. I'm kind. I'm generous. I'm helpful. I love to share. Why aren't my friends doing the same thing? And this is a time of concerns and emotions. And this is the time where we must enhance and implement our communication skills. A time where we sit down after a long day at school and see how they're doing. Be attentive. Be aware of their behaviors. And not to fear asking questions. We must open the lines of effective listening and effective communication, for that's where we encircle trust. Here, their bodies are changing, their minds are developing, and they're coming into their own. They are more aware than ever before of their areas of improvement and their areas of strength. This is where in the population, it really comes into groups. Do I fit in? Do I not fit in? Am I able to express myself effectively or not? These are the areas where we teach our children to stand up for themselves, to feel confident and comfortable in their own skin. And if they have questions, to seek the answers. And if they have struggles and obstacles, that they can feel comfortable and trust to come to you. That you will understand them, you will respect them, and you will allow them to be listened to and not just seen. Growing up, when I was in my preteen and adolescent years, I was going through so many changes. Trying to understand how my mind and body was communicating and working, if they were at all in balance. And then the emotions took toll of fitting in and not fitting in. You see, when I was growing up, I had a different story. I was adopted from an underdeveloped country during the war-torn drug zone era at its prime in Colombia, South America. My parents made the ultimate sacrifice and put me up for adoption and sent me to the promised land, that of America. I was welcomed with open arms and unconditional love into my American family. Although during my elementary and preteen years, because I looked different, I spoke different, and my behaviors were different, I was bullied. And I felt that my voice couldn't be heard. For my parents were able to tell me that I was adopted at the age of 7, that I was their treasure and gift, although unbeknownst to them, over my adolescent and preteen and adolescent years, I was coping with a loss of identity. I had no photographs of my family. I had no medical records. All I had was a reflection of in the mirror of the unknown. And so I was bullied. Imagine being tossed into trash cans and shoved into lockers because you were misunderstood, and not being able to vocalize your fears and emotions, for you didn't want to burden the teachers, let alone embarrass your peers. Preteen and adolescent years are the most primitive. This is where heartache and heartbreak occur. Their bodies are constantly in motion and changing from moment to moment. They are constantly questioning if they should go right or left, and if they should move forward and be mindful and take the risk. This is where they learn how to adapt and how to be able to be courageous enough to be their own. Each and every one of us is unique for a reason. We all have strengths, talents, and gifts that we were given by our Creator. However, when we learn and understand we have areas of improvement to work upon, that is when we must be mindful and aware on how to strategically handle and cope with these situations. These are questions that individuals have every day. Allow you and your child to sit down. Have a conversation daily. If you are able enough to pick them up from school, on the car ride home, ask them how their day was. Let them share their cheers, fears, and tears, for they may have suppressed those emotions up all day long. Allow them to rest after school for at least a half hour. Take off their shoes, grab a snack, and just debrief from the day. After doing so, then allow them to get into their studies. Even if it's a half hour a day, reflecting over what they've done in class, it is important to keep their mind fresh and always commend them and encourage them that no matter what, to do their best. And that is what resounds in my ear even to this day from my parents. They said, Andrea, no matter what you do, we ask you to always do your best, act with integrity, and do what you love. And truth be told, I have found and followed that key of wisdom to this very day. Preteens and adolescents are also misunderstood, misinformed, and they want to strive for perfection. And it is our duty and responsibility to let them know that there is no such thing as perfection, but only progression towards success. Act with love. Have patience. Allow yourself to feel comfortable having a conversation. Now remember, I'm not encouraging you to be their friend, for there is a boundary, a limitation, and a role that you play when becoming a parent. Adolescence is a difficult time, and in times of the uncertain and unknown, allow them to have an outlet, a resource, an individual, whether it be a family member, someone in the professional field, or a counselor at school. And if they don't feel comfortable with that, provide them with a journal. Allow them to get their thoughts down on paper, for it's such a release and a relief for them. For all of these emotions are stirring up into their minds, bodies, and souls. They're constantly changing, questioning if what they're doing is good enough, questioning if they are fitting in, questioning if they are being accepted. In a world today, we live with social media, television, and radio, where there's competition everywhere. And one of the key nuggets I encourage you to share with your child, the only competition that they should focus on is being a better version of themselves than they were yesterday? How can I be more? How can you do more? And tap into what their interests are. Tap into what their passions are. Invest not only financial, but your time, your emotional support, and understanding. Although they may come home after a day at school or after playing their sport or engaging in an after-school activity, assure them that you are there, that you understand, you're there to listen, there to guide, there to support. It is always important for the individual and child especially to know that they are loved. Even if you don't say it, it's good for them to hear it. Whether it be a gesture of a hug, a kiss on the cheek, or just a hand on the shoulder saying that I am here and I'm ready to support you and always listening. When we are young adults and adolescents and preteens, there are so many pressures. The influential pressures of society, the pressures from their peers, the pressures from their staff at school, their coaches, and truth be told, the underlying pressure of acceptance from you as a parent. Open the lines of communication and allow them to feel comfortable to come to you when in need. Allow them to feel comfortable to share their fears, shed their tears, and share their grins and celebrate their wins with you. These are primitive years where they're constantly changing, and you can be the underlying thread of balance, security, and support for them, knowing that you love them. We then transfer into young adulthood. And this is where, if you understand, you see a self-image of you. This is where self-awareness and self-discovery comes into play. And we empower our children to follow their heart and not the hurt. For at their young adulthood years, they're looking back and reflecting the could-have, should-haves, would-haves, must-haves. Allow them to embrace what they want to do. These are the years where they're molding their minds to planning their future. And encourage them to create a vision, to sit down with you and say, this is where I want to be. Allow them to use their 5 senses, taste, touch, smell, feel, and listen, to create an image of what they want to mold for their future. Allow them to explore and do their research of the industry of their choice. Ask them if they are ready and passionate about what they want to do in the future. For when you live from your heart, success and happiness are on the other side. It doesn't seem like work. You're answering the call, the mission, and answering and providing a message to the world. Do your research and see what qualifications and requirements are necessary to be successful. And you know, somewhere in your family or friends or your inner circle, you know a guy or you know a girl. Have the courage to ask them what a typical day in the life of this industry entails. The good, the bad, and the ugly. You might as well, so you get a better understanding, a better feeling for what you have in store ahead of you. Allow yourself to talk to them, to engage in an apprenticeship, an internship, or volunteer work after school hours on the weekends, or during the holiday breaks or summer. This is allowing them to get hands-on experience of, is this a good fit for me? They get to see what a typical schedule looks like, the people that they're going to work with, and a better understanding of what they will be doing as part of their career, their lifestyle, and dream going forward. You can't get this from school books. You can't get this from any videos. I believe personal experience is really going to sharpen and enhance your ability to get a better grasp and understanding of what it is that you are going to engage in. My father was a successful Wall Street banker, vice president at JP Morgan. And he wanted the best for his family. And he was able to successfully retire at the age of 55. But truth be told, he said, Andrea, make sure you do what you love. That it's worth it. That you're willing to do whatever it takes to see your dream life. And I truly believe that. If you are going to go 100% all in what you love, go for it. Because the impact and the influence and eventually the income will arrive. And this is where you're learning about relationships. You're understanding what you want in a partner, how you want to live the rest of your life, what your expectations of yourself, self-love, self-care, most importantly, obtaining the trait of selflessness, where your number one asset is your health. And once you have your health and self-love, you're filled with abundance and ready to pay it forward. Adulthood is understanding the trades and talents and skill sets that you aspire to inspire and excel at. And then you also understand the areas of improvement where you can gain knowledge from others. Be attentive. Be intentional with learning what you want to do. After you engage in learning about what your dream looks like, remember this is an investment. Not only are these college years and career years an investment financially, but this is an investment of time, work ethic, your attention, and the time spent with others. This is an investment that you are going to contribute to on a daily basis. This is something you're looking forward to in making a difference in the world and enhancing the quality of life of others. Alongside the investment, it is important to get your mind right. Make sure your mindset is intact. And it's that of positivity. For positivity will lead to production. Production will lead to progression. Progression will lead to performance. Performance will lead to paying it forward, to enhancing the quality of life of others. It is important at these time of the years that we are there for them. Sometimes as a sounding board, sometimes as someone that they can rely upon, someone that they can confide in to guide them in the right direction. And once they've done that, it is important that you sit down with them and encourage them to apply what they've learned. You have dedicated your research, your skill set, understanding what it is upon your vision as a daily life, what investments you have to take, what mindset you'd have to acquire, and adopting patience. For patience allows you to persevere. Perseverance allows you to be profitable. And once you apply what you learn, you just trust the process. Most importantly, this is also a time, as I mentioned, of relationships. Academic relationships, business relationships, personal relationships, and familial relationships. Allow your child or young adult at this time to make sure that they have healed, that they have achieved personal freedom through the healing power of forgiveness, allowing them and their incidences and occurrences to be subsided. If courageous enough to approach the individual who has hurt or betrayed them, and in a civil and respectful manner, let them know how they felt, that it affected them, it hurt them emotionally, and what drew them to that conclusion to be treated them that way. And empower your child, young adult at this stage. Just allow them no longer to give permission to be treated that way, but most importantly, no longer giving permission for others to have power over them, and to heal themselves and cut the anchor and the ball and chain of their incidences, and to forgive their reflection in the mirror. Because once you achieve personal freedom, you can do anything. For example, you don't want somebody's malicious treatment towards you, if not faced, to show up later in life as a colleague, as an employee, as a boss or an authoritative figure, and you dismiss yourself to do that. So allow yourself to encourage and work with them through the healing process of forgiveness. That it is not acceptable for others to have power over them, but most importantly, to break those chains of the incidences from their past. For if they don't face their past will continue to chase them. This is very important that you support them in this and allow them to be courageous enough to face their own battles, to face their fears, and to step into a life of love, self-love, empowerment, encouragement, and of integrity. And most importantly, we look at the whole dynamic as a whole, as a family. You have created this amazing family. And it is important, in the Disney movie stated in Lilo and Stitch, Ohana means family. Family means no one gets left behind or forgotten. Allow these memorable milestones with your child or children to be magical. Allow them to come home with welcome arms and open arms into the hearts of your family. Allow them to feel comfortable in their own skin to share their stories, memories, and moments. Allow your family to reenact old traditions and adopt new traditions. Allow your family to embrace all that you have instilled in your child and children to be shared with the world. Learn how to listen. Learn how to allow yourself to be heard. Learn how to be loved. Learn how to be understood, and remember that it's important that you listen to be heard, respond to be understood. The lines of communication may be different. The traditions, morals, values, and ethics may have been shifted through generations. But it is the core values, the morals, ethics, and values you instill in your family from the start that will make it most powerful. Those are the ties that bind. Those are the imageries, the imagination, the creativity, the skills and talents that will allow you to have a solid foundation between you and your children. Parenthood does not come with a manual. And even if it did, everybody would have a different perspective and interpretation of it. Allow yourselves to live and build a legacy of love. Love will conquer all. Love will heal and repair the mistakes and the heartaches. Love will allow you to maintain peace. And love will allow you to share the truth, which will set you free. Make sure you sit down with your child or children and let them know and remind them daily how much you care. A famous quote of Maya Angelou is this: people don't care how much you know until they know how much you care. And that quote resounds to me every single day. Allow yourself to love one another. Have patience with one another. And be understood. We're here for a reason. And your mission as a parent is to enhance the quality of life of your children and allow them to meet their fullest potential, live their dreams, and shy away from their fears. It's important that you listen effectively, communicate accordingly, and allow them to be the best version of themselves. I thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. My name is Andrea Mason, your personal accountability coach, certified global motivational speaker under the mentorship of Mr. Les Brown. It's an honor and privilege to be here. And we're all having a good time. And at this moment, as a token of my appreciation and affection, I encourage you to go to your email. In the subject line, type in raising a child, so I know where you came from. And I appreciate and I'm grateful for your time, for you can be anywhere else at this moment, and you've chosen to be here with us today. Thank you very much, and have a wonderful day.